Okay, so I'm back again, and today is going to be real simple. It's going to be, well, headlight, I guess. It's going to be headlight install day. So as you'll see on this headlight here, this headlight is very aged. This was a 2001 motorcycle. It's never been changed. This is also another chronic problem with these bikes. These headlights, actually, you can get, here we go again, with AF1 Racing. You can get these headlights for about $160, $180. Which is actually pretty reasonably priced from AF1 Racing. But I do have a spare one of these that's in phenomenal shape, and I'm going to be selling the fairings on eBay. So we're just going to go ahead and pull the headlight off of the other fairing that the spare fairing that I have, and get this switched out. But it's a real easy process here. So what I'll do is we'll go over to the workbench, and then I'll pull that other headlight out so it's just ready to go. And then I'll pull this headlight piece off here, and then we'll just switch them out and reinstall them and put some new bulbs in there, and it should be ready to go. I have decided that this house that I'm living in, I've been debating on what I'm going to do with my housing situation, because my garage is too small, and I've decided that it is time to sell this house. So what's going to happen is I do have to generate some more funds to do some small repairs and finish some small stuff in the house, and then I need to get this house on the market to sell. But this has been a real nice starter home for me. This was my first house, but I've outgrown it, and I want to take the YouTube stuff, more seriously, and the Amsoil business a little bit different. So I am basically going to move, but I don't know if I'm going to buy a house or not. I've went to the credit union and already been approved for X amount of dollars, and which is way more than I want to spend. But I'm not so sure buying is the way to go. I may look back into renting. A lot of people have a problem with going from, oh, I'm owning a house, so my rent is building me my equity, blah, blah, blah. Or, from the aspect of the renting, a lot of multimillionaires and billionaires actually don't own their own homes because it's such a maintenance disaster. And if I want to focus on the YouTube and the Amsoil stuff, then renting is actually a better option for me, because that way when something breaks, or hey, you need a roof that's 10 grand on your house, you've got to have funds available for when you have a house. So I think renting is more of an option, but I am going to start looking for houses, and we'll just see what happens. So this is going to be pretty neat. I want to get this all done by summer, which I don't know if that's going to happen, but you've tuned in for the headlights, so let's get over to the workbench. Okay, so for first things first is I have this spare fairing kit here, and this stuff's all going to go on eBay. So if you have one of these Milles and it's got really crummy fairings for 2001 through 2003, I've got a really nice set of full fairings here, and I'm going to throw them up on eBay, and hopefully someone will be able to use them. I am starting to clean out the garage, so keep your eye on that eBay page, because there's going to be a bunch of stuff listed. But yeah, we'll get started here on taking this headlight off of this assembly here. It's really simple, so I'll get the camera moved around, but I'm not real sure how I'm going to view this, but you basically have 3 screws on top, 1, 2, 3, and then underneath of the motorcycle, when you bolt the piece back onto the bike, there's 3 Allen head screws. So you just pull that off here. And this fairing set actually came off of a bike that I purchased with the bad engine, and I really thought, and I just saw here that the rubber is missing for this headlight, but that's all right. I really thought I was going to build that bike, but things happen, and I've got so many other bikes and projects I'm working on that I've kind of decided that I just want to use that bike for my first track bike. So I've got some performance pieces and a lot of these engine parts. So I'm just going to make that my first track bike. And for my first track bike, I don't want it to be super fast, and it's basically going to be on a base that I'm used to riding, so I figure that's probably my best bet, instead of parting it out and junking it out and not getting any return on it. So, but this headlight's really easy to install and really easy to put back in, so I just wanted to get this off before I started taking the bike apart And I've got some bulbs and stuff for this. So yeah, let's get over to the other bike. It's pretty warm out here today. It's actually very humid. It just stopped raining, and I have a fan located up top of here of the garage. And I'm going to turn that on, but I may not be able to run it because of the noise, because I've never filmed with the fan on, I don't believe. But I'm going to go ahead and lift this bike up on the lift here, and then we'll walk you through getting this front assembly off. But that fan's going to be so loud. I don't know how loud that is. There's a little bar on the camera for the microphone that's picking it up. I can see that. I'm a little worried about this thing falling off my roof. I bolted this fan up with exhaust clamps for a vehicle. I measured the bar and then drilled holes into the wall and clamped the fan to the wall. I'm sorry for the noise, guys, but or girls, whatever, whoever's watching, but it's so hot in this garage, I have to run this fan. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove these mirrors first. So you'll have two bolts that are bolting the fairing assembly down to where the mirror connects underneath, and then one 10 millimeter, should be a nut underneath, and then we'll just pull these mirrors off first. And there should be a spring type assembly inside. I can't remember. I haven't taken this apart in a while. Underneath of this mirror. No, you can actually just leave the mirror on. Don't remove the 10 millimeter bolt. That's actually onto the fairing. So, okay, we'll go the other side here. Just get both of these removed. Now I will tell you this, if you're running one of these bikes, I put this double bubble windshield on here. Good investment. I seen on eBay that there's actually a Chinese manufacturer of these double bubbles now that you can get these windscreens for, I don't know, $30 some dollars. I usually would go with Zero Gravity because they're a very well-known company, but you know, it's just a windscreen. So maybe check that out. And what you'll have is two Allen heads. They should be size 3 that are holding the front fairings to, I believe, the air dams is what it is, the front air dam, the inner air dam here. And we'll remove these. See if I can zoom in on these. And they'll be right here. And actually, if the bike isn't on a center stand, you'll be able to move the handlebars a little easier. But you'll have one of these on each side, and then you'll just want to remove these. And it might be a little more difficult with these. Oh, there it is. I have to get a different tool here. Just go to the other side and remove it as well. we'll do is we'll get underneath here and get the three. I'm feeling underneath here, and I knew this. Last time I put this together, I was in a rush and I dropped the third one, so there's only two. There should be three. We'll put three back in there. There's three Allen heads underneath the bottom of it, so we'll just take it and get them out of here. You'll want to be careful, especially if you have a carbon fiber fender here, like I do. That once you remove these bolts, the last one, that it doesn't drop down. I mean, it doesn't weigh a whole lot. You can see it already. You can see it already starting to tilt. And then once we get this undone here, we'll unplug. Just got a text message. We'll unplug the light bulbs. Everything should unplug except for the little middle one. There it goes. Actually, if you're going to do this, an easier way to do this to keep this loaded would be to remove these bottom ones first and then remove the mirror ones. And then I'll move the camera angle, and then we'll unplug all this. Now what you're going to see here is that you have three rubber coverings over your light bulb switches. So you'll just come up and you'll remove all these rubber coverings, and this is your metal bulb here. You don't want to touch these bulbs with your hands. And I've got gloves on, but they might be dirty, so when we put the new bulbs in, I'll have to switch gloves. And they might be, if your bike's fairly old and this stuff's never been done, these little rubber pieces might be really hard to get off. And you can do this two ways. You can actually pull the plug-in off, or you can remove the whole bulb. It's really kind of up to you. We're just going to do the plug-ins. And we'll remove the bulbs later. Ugh. There we go. And that'll just remove the whole fairing assembly for the headlight. Okay, and what we're going to do when we install these new bulbs is I'll show you. You're basically on the back of the headlight. It tells you what you need. You need two H4 style 12 volt 55-60 watt and one H7 12 volt 55 watt bulbs, and they're pretty simple to change out. Your H4 bulbs have these little clips in here, and I'll undo the clips and then we'll install those first, and then there should be a plastic ring in here which will take off the other headlight to put on there. So on these smaller bulbs here, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, you basically have metal clips in there the way it's set up, and you just want to push one side of the clip apart like that, and then go to the other side. And then you'll pull these down, the clip down like that, and then the bulb will be able to be removed. And you'll just do this on both sides here. Pretty simple. If you want to do this cheaply, don't go to your auto parts store or your motorcycle shop. Go to eBay, Amazon, and you can just buy the bulbs there. They don't have to be factory bulbs. These are standard size bulbs, so you can get them fairly reasonably priced online. It's a big no-no to touch these bulbs. The oil in your hands or dirt will actually burn these new bulbs out quicker. So let me go ahead and grab these other bulbs and change my gloves. So what we're going to do is we're going to got our new bulbs here, and we're going to install our new bulbs and do this one at a time here. And then we'll put the clips back on. And there's actually a groove cut into the, I'll show you on a picture, there's a groove cut into the light bulb that spring clip will set into, so it tightens the bulb as you do it, and it's easier to use a screwdriver here. And then we'll go ahead and get the other one here. Sometimes it's easier to get one side on than the other, and using a flat-headed screwdriver can help out, but you want to be careful not to hit the bulb or anything. My gloves, I couldn't get my gloves all the way on my fingers because I'm sweating. Okay, so we actually need to remove the plastic clip off of the main bulb on the original one, and what we'll do is the clip will actually twist off. It's a white clip and it'll twist off. So we need to go ahead and get that off. Okay, thank God I got extra parts. Actually have an extra clip. Good luck if you're going to do it yourself. I'll show you. I basically told you how to do it. I'm not going to even mess with it. I don't have time to mess with it. So we'll install the new bulb into the new headlight. Okay, and there's actually a certain way to do this. I'm gonna throw some pictures up. On the bottom of the bulb, there's actually two metal grooves that are cut into it, and it's actually gonna go toward the bottom of the headlight, and there's grooves cut into the assembly so that light bulb stays in place. And then you're gonna go ahead and put your white ring onto the assembly to hold the bulb in place. And just click the, you'll hear it click when it goes in there. And you're going to click the locking piece onto the headlight. And that's pretty much it. So you've got your new bulbs installed in with your clips on both the bulbs, and then your white clip on the bottom headlight that twists in. And I'm pretty sure if you don't have that headlight in properly, it won't twist in. So we will get this other headlight unscrewed from the fairing and get this back on the bike. Okay, and now we're just going to remove the 3 screws that are holding the headlight back in. Try not to lose these screws when you're undoing them. What's funny is that other headlight has a sticker on it that's marked for the headlight types, and this one has a sticker that says USA. I don't know why they've done that. I don't know if there might be different watts for the bulbs for the Europeans compared to the Americans, and then when they go down the assembly line, they might say this headlight unit's for the USA, this headlight's for the Europeans. But we'll just go ahead and remove this and grab our other headlight and get it installed. what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all 3 of these screws in here before I tighten them up. The way I know it that the headlight's centered into the firing unit. We're not going to tighten these up. We're just going to put all the screws in. And now, after we've got the screws in to hold the thing in place, we're going to tighten them all up. Okay, and now we'll get the headlight moved back onto the bike. So what we're going to do is I'm going to try to do this and get this all plugged in here. Okay, so we're going to get this back in here. I got distracted by the other wires. If you have somebody that can help you or that's available, it'll help out a little bit, but I do not. You know what? I'm going to move the camera here. It's kind of difficult to see what I'm doing. Just plug these in one at a time and then put the rubber mounts on. These rubber mounts, if they're hard, they might be easier to put back on. When they're real soft, you've got to kind of move them up and down on the housing. It's real important to get those on there. If you ever get your bike into moisture and stuff, then it's vital that it have some form of protection. And then we've got our final bulb here that we didn't replace. The only bulb I didn't replace. And I think it just pushes into the housing, the round bulb. Just like that. And then we'll get this moved around and get this tightened up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and we're going to mount the mirror side up first on each side, and then we're not going to tighten this up until we get all the bolts in there, because I'm going to turn the bike on and see if the headlights work. Grab the one freaking bolt that ain't the right size. Like I said, don't tighten these up. Just get them all snug, and then once you're done, go back and tighten everything up. This is exactly why you don't tighten it up and you just snug them, because you do need a little bit of wiggle room to get this on tight. This frightened me this hard last time. Yep, and that's why. I forgot there's a seal on the bottom of there, underneath of the mirror, that you've got to line up with the hole. Forgot about that. And it won't go in unless you have it. There we go. I'm really starting to sweat. I cut that fan off because I didn't know how it would affect the sound on the video. I had somebody comment that they wanted less music, more talking, and I kind of agreed with them. So and I'll throw a picture up of the rubber mount here. On the other side, I didn't line the rubber mount up, so I'll take that bolt out, but it's real important underneath the fairing that that rubber mount mounts up with the headlight mount. Now I've got this braced up here, and before we go any farther, I'm gonna go ahead and test these headlights out. Hey, I can see it on the camera. So that's your main bulb. Actually, a lot of people don't know this. The lap button that'll time your laps on the dashboard, actually if you hold it, will keep all three lights on. That's like if you're going to pass somebody real quick, you know, on the road. But if you go to turn your high beams on, it just cuts your new high beams on. So, I mean, if you just need some brightness, you can hold that and get more light out of your bike by just holding the lap button while you're moving. But everything seems to be working, so we'll just tighten this all back up. Okay, so we're going to put these last two bolts in, or well, not last ones. We still got the ones underneath the headlight. But just make sure that you can see your well nuts inside the fairing so that these are going to tighten up okay. And then just like I said, snug all these, and then we're going to go back and just tighten them all up. Actually, to get these started, push down if they're not lining up properly. Push down a little bit on the windscreen deflector if your bike has it, if it's 2001 or after, and just kind of finger tight them in there, and that'll get it started. And then go to the other side and do that as well. Alright, and then you've got your last bolts here underneath. And these might be a little pain in the butt because you can't really see what's going on here. You're just kind of, well, I hope it lines up. It may take a minute to do these. Everyone has trouble with these. Well, maybe not. I mean, it's hard to see stuff. Might have to get up there with a screwdriver and line these holes up. Okay, we're gonna go back and tighten all these up and then we're done. I really started sweating here. Okay, well, I hope this video helped you out, even for replacing light bulbs. I'm not sure how I'll label the video, maybe headlight change, light bulb change, I'm not real sure, but real simple to do. Didn't take me too long to do it. I think setting camera angles up takes longer to do than this job here. So as always, just check the links below if you would. If you want an Amsoil catalog, click the links below. It's the cheapest way to buy Amsoil is a preferred customer, dealer number 5541460. And this bike will be up on eBay. I'm probably going to, this is going to sound crazy, probably going to start this thing off at 99 cents. And I will go through and probably make a whole video of everything that's been done to this bike. It's a real solid bike. But I will put a reserve on it because I'm not just going to give it away. But it does need a new home, and I need a new home. So unfortunately, it's got to go. I've got another Mille R here, and I've got that, you know, down below there, a bike that I haven't finished. That's another Mille. So, you know, the bike needs to go to a new owner. Hopefully it goes to a subscriber. I don't know. These bikes in my area don't tend to sell very fast. This is Harley Davidson country around here, but you know, anybody that knows these bikes knows they're a hell of a bike. They're dependable. It's got a little bit of mileage, but keep your eye out, and I will tell you when it goes on eBay. I'm out of here.